thing called balance, but there's not a lot of balance going on here. And most of the balance is balance. Most of this imbalance are the things that are not being in balance are becoming because we have not chose to walk down this path of femininity, and we haven't chose to walk down this path of being fully in balance with our feminine side. High Priestess, this is the most ultimate moon, the crescent moon. This is the ultimate feminine card for us, okay? Now, a lot of feminine energy do need to be focused more on covering up, being less revealing, period. And just exploring more into being feminine, how to take lead in our feminine role, how what is it that we can do that causes us to be more approached. Okay, so we have the feminine. This is a very feminine card here with roses and flowers, correct? Now, a lot of feminine energy would prefer for a man, masculine, to bring them flowers. Okay, so already masculine right off the bat is already letting us know, like, they already identify with feminine energy as delicate as a flower. A lot of us do have issues with that, you know what I'm saying? We have the Three of Voices. We do have issues with how do we become vulnerable? How can we be more vulnerable, without being hurt? Like, this woman here is completely naked, you know what I'm saying? She's not clothed. I have no idea what words we can and can't say on here. But she's not clothed. So how is it that we can be? How is it that we can be more vulnerable? Without being hurt. To be able to express ourselves, to be in our feminine side. We are afraid to be in our feminine side. Okay, but if a man, he's bringing us flowers, and I think we take getting flowers for granted. Because if a man's bringing flowers to a woman, he's not bringing flowers to his homeboys. He's bringing flowers to you as a feminine energy. So he sees you already as delicate as a flower. He already sees you like that. So most men that are buying us flowers, they're not buying us flowers. They're not buying flowers and throwing it in the back of their car. They're not buying flowers and attaching it to the top of their roof. They're not buying flowers and just throwing it at your doorstep. They know how delicate flowers are, so they handle flowers delicately, right? When we get the flowers, we handle them delicately. So we see flowers and we know how to handle them delicately. What would make us think that if a true masculine doesn't see us as a flower, he wouldn't handle us, delicately, right? So we have the Queen of Wands coming out, and this is what I really want to say about this situation here. Once the sun's behind her. Well, my battery's going low, so let's make this quick. The sun is behind her, okay? So we identify with the sun as masculine energy. So you have the sun and both the moon card here. So once we've embraced this feminine energy, the sun is there to help flowers grow, to help us grow. So if you're going to see yourself as delicate as a flower, then you have to understand, or you should always understand, that the sun is going to do what the sun needs to do, aka masculine energy, to help you grow, to beam on you, with his light, with his masculine energy to help you grow. The right masculine is going to give you the sun energy you need to help you throttle in your fullest potential. And the Queen of Wands is a very successful, ambitious, well-known woman, correct? But the Queen of Wands is represented by wands, fire, sun, right? So in her fullest potential, she still has the masculine energy that is there to help her in her ventures. Okay, so you can't own one thing. You can't own being a feminine and then disown masculine, because being in a feminine is your moon energy, and being in a masculine is sun. So you can't have one without the other. Can't have one without the other. Okay, so now let's see what's going on with the masculine energy and how this is going to help us, how this reading is going to, this is a kickstart. Let me explain that to y'all right now. For most of us, for most of you, you have the sun and the moon. This is the balance of the masculine and feminine energy. Okay, so I'm always going to respect the balance, right? Which is what has to be done on Moon's Evolutions channel, period. So we have a lot of strength, all right? So this woman is sitting on top of this lion, still, still in her full bone strength. So what is so special about this card? What stands out about this card? And she has on a dress. right? Which is the most vulnerable thing outside of not having on clothes at all. It's the most vulnerable thing that a woman could wear is a dress, okay? But she is confidently sitting on top of this lion right here, and this lion is protecting her. I can guarantee you that he's not going to let anything happen to her. There is a connection here. There is a balance here. Okay, there is an ultimate being here. So can you be feminine and still appear as a strong, confident woman? Absolutely. You absolutely can. And is a man going to see this vulnerability in you and it still comes out. Is a man going to see this vulnerability in you and still want to protect you? Absolutely. More than he's going to want to protect your strong, independent friend. Okay? And not to say that he's not going to protect her, but there is going to be this. I can guarantee you that you're going to be one of the reasons, you being the feminine friend, you're going to be one of the reasons that your masculine is going to just protect all of y'all. If he's with all of y'all, he's going to protect all of y'all because you are the feminine friend. So he's doing that off the strength of you. But I can guarantee you that he wouldn't just. I can guarantee you that there is going to be a struggle. It's going to be a struggle within him. Nine of Wands to protect this friend. Not only that, this is your feminine friend. I mean, this is your friend that is a strong, independent, I can do things on my own friend. I can guarantee you that she's pretty much tired. She's tired of that, you know, and in results of that, it may appear as if she's tired of men, but no, she's just literally tired of being this independent woman, but she's not looking into herself to realize, you know, why are you tired? Okay, because it's not that you're tired of men. It's that you're tired. You feel like, okay, well, you know, men aren't coming through for you. Men aren't protecting you. Men aren't being men. But you haven't even looked at yourself to ask yourself, you know, do you have this balance of masculine and feminine energy so that a man can come in and actually want to be a man? So I mean, we have these talks, and there's a lot of us that have these talks with our friends and feel like we're, you know, are with our feminine circle, you know, and we feel like we're not getting through to them, or they're just not getting it, you know, and they're just not quite fully understanding what's going on, or, you know, what we're trying to explain to them about why it's okay to, you know, absolutely just go ahead and trust a man and let a man, you know, come in and do what he has to do. We are more successful in that. We do have the dinosaurs did come out for a lot. There's a fear within a lot of your friends that are saying that they're independent, they can do things on their own. There is still this fear and this anxiety, overwhelming anxiety within them, you know. Even though a lot of them tend to, you know, appear very successful, inside they're still having this battle within them. There's still this battle of wanting a man but not needing a masculine, wanting a masculine but not needing a masculine, wanting a masculine but not needing a masculine. But that is, you know, not what they're showing you. You know, they're just showing you this strength that they have within them, that they've been doing it for so long, you know, on their own, so they can continue to do it on their own. But most of them do have this fear of, will I be, you know, alone for a while, you know. And then there's also this back and forth, that there's this imbalance within themselves, or this back and forth of, you know, I can do it on my own. I know what I'm doing. I can do this on my own. I don't need a man. But then there's this other half of, well, I want to date. You know, where are all the good men going? And it's just a cycle within a lot of them, because if you meet a man that's gonna bring you flowers and they're gonna come at you with them being vulnerable and within their fullest potential, and then you do have your guards up, you know, about a lot, it's definitely gonna is ultimately gonna cause them to want to say, well, you know, maybe they just don't, you know, they don't need me. But if they're coming with that seed, they're gonna need somewhere to plant. And if you have desolate ground and nowhere for them to plant that seed in, whether they're bringing flowers or not, some of them do bring actual flowers, and that is just a physical representation. If they do bring flowers, that's just a physical representation of what they're bringing you. And then that's just on top of them physically bringing you something, but they're spiritually bringing you a seed to plant. And for most of women haven't fully embraced their feminine energy, there's nowhere for that seed to be planted. There's literally nowhere, you know, for them to plant that seed, and that's when it will result in things not going on. You know what I'm saying? Things not continuing on, right? So let's just pull out a few more cards. and see exactly what is the results. So a lot don't want to hear this. Yeah, they run. They're gone. On the first thing up out of here, and a lot of them feel like a lot of feminine energy feels like they're left to carry this baggage on their own. They could just do it on their own, and they'll figure it out. They'll move forward on their own. But ultimately, the result is if a masculine is bringing this and they have nowhere to plant it, but a bunch of, well, what did you do, and why didn't you do this? Why weren't you here? Why can't you do this? And I can do this on my own. And okay, you brought flowers, thank you. A lot of women that receive flowers nowadays don't even take the proper steps to make sure the flowers are nourished. And they just say, oh, thank you, and put the flowers on the table. That right there is a physical, beyond energetic, that is a physical representation of not being a masculine, not being able to plant or put it anywhere. If you take a woman flowers, take a feminine energy, some flowers, and they just put it on the table, right now the first thing in that man's mind should be like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and go. And you miss, it's like, these are what we call red flags. Like, y'all make red flags something such a big deal, but red flags are literally, seriously, right in your face, and you miss it. But anyways, it's late where I'm at. So I am going to end the video here, and I'll be back with I'll be back with more tarot readings, but I just want you to know this is where this is going. So if you do have any ideas, like questions about general readings, as far as like how we want to, as a collective, as feminine energy, how we want to as a collective move past a lot of things, and we can ask our ancestors, and it can come out in the cards. Like, okay, so what's the next step? Moving forward, how do we bring this balance back? Moving forward, then email me the general question. I guarantee you that I will put it in my next reading. And I don't want to know, is he cheating on me, or how can I do this, or what's this next thing? No, I need to know, like, as a collective, ask me questions like, what is it that, I can do as a feminine energy to get this result as from a masculine. How can me as a feminine energy connect with my masculine if I feel this way? How do I not take things personal? How do I get a deeper introspect? And I mean, it's not for the faint of heart, because it's gonna have a lot to do with the way your actions are, how you think, your mind frame, accepting the fact that most of us were raised in single parent homes. So most of us had a single parent, whether it was a masculine or a feminine, that was hurt, that was lonely. So they were going to teach you how to grow up and be able to do things on your own. Very far few in between did our single parent teach us, this is where I messed up at, and this is how to make it right. It was more so, you might have to do this on your own, so this is how you do it on your own. You get what I'm saying? So anyways, that's what I have for y'all. Talk to y'all soon.